trying to change it.
It ain't me.
He catches you. He watching for it now.
Lord
Yeah,
have
he's
mercy.
watching
I
for it.
catch it. I see you all side trying to sabotage me. The number one live talk show host.
Not you. I was
sabotage
talking about Mark and Panfish Nation.
Oh, that guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
talking about Dockery.
Well, good evening, everybody, and welcome to Catfish Weekly, along with little bitty tiny fella Lyle and the jolly green giant Josh. I am the Chad. Appreciate you all stopping in tonight. Oh, I love this topic tonight.
Chad, it's like over 70 degrees still here right now.
66 in Missouri.
63 here in Williamstown, Kentucky.
That figure, that's, well, Kentucky.
It's Kentucky.
Listen here. It don't matter if it's Missouri, Illinois, or Kentucky. When you're seeing them 60-degree temperatures, the timing is just about right, fellas.
You know, there's only one thing I worry about with that. And that
what now? That when it gets to 65, it's going to be too hot for you to fish?
No, I'm worried about when it gets to the point to where it's going to be done with all the cold and nasty weather, that it will turn directly hot and just be smeltering.
I mean, you were on it, Chad. He was worried about it getting too hot for him to fish.
Yep.
There ain't no such thing. I mean,
okay.
Well, maybe. Yeah. You was over here, Chad. You seen the temperatures we had.
That was ridiculous what you guys
oh my God
asked for when I went. You're like, oh, Chad D and Alyssa are coming out here to visit. Let's order that 150-degree weather so that nobody can go anywhere.
It wasn't like that when you come, was it, Josh?
No, it was nice.
That's because you like him more.
Well,
I mean,
that's okay. I don't need to be liked.
I love you all the same.
I bet you do.
No, you don't. Luke Hinches is at the top of the pile.
Luke don't come down fish with me, so.
Who? Oh, Shooter McGavin. Sorry.
Yeah.
Why don't we say hi to people right quick?
Let's do that.
We're already up to. We got 42 hanging in here now. So, let me get it, Josh.
Yeah, I don't have a mouse tonight. I'm on my laptop.
Wow. So. I've got it. We got Mr. Jeff Beal was in here as the first one I saw. Brewer Boys Outdoors. Joshua Perron. We got member Carolina Catfish. Northern View Outdoors. Joe Buck 66. Jason Lamb. Nebraska Wildcats. John Patrick Jr. And no, I did not take a nap again. I was waiting on the Diva Lyle to hush so we could go live, and I kept begging him to take that ugly shirt and throw it away and put something else on, but he wouldn't do it.
Yeah, I wouldn't do
it. We've got Pontoon Jody Catfishing, setting hooks and crossing eyes. We got Catch Fish with us. We got V. Smith, my favorite Smith. Mr. Greg Burgess. Miss Cindy Stokes. What's up, Mama? We got Jason Lamb, 573 Catfishing. Jersey, Stonefly 71. We got Michael Mallet. Ever since Danny had his live yesterday, I'm really double reading the names of everybody I see here.
I wonder why that is.
You know what's funny about that is I tried to get Parker. Danny thought I was trying to get him, and then he read somebody else's name in there and got himself.
Yes, he did. There's Sampy. What's going on, buddy? There's the birthday boy, Mr. Parker Pursuits. Everybody in chat, make sure you say happy birthday. I believe he's 71 today, so happy birthday to Jerry Parker.
I don't think it's 71, is it?
Okay.
Well, maybe.
I don't know how old he is, but it's fun. It's fun to tease your friends, right?
Absolutely.
Did he call you a friend, or are you calling him one?
He calls me a lot of things, but I don't think he's ever called me friend. We got Miss Heather Stokes. We got Dave Funk. I know he's ready for this conversation. Terry Stone.
Terry Stone. Good to see you in here, buddy.
I hope he's not related to Danny Stone.
Oh, no. I don't think so.
That poor fella. If he is, that poor fella.
Oh, yeah.
We got 3 Knights. And Mr. Lance McCouguy. What's up, Lance? And then last but not least that I see here, unless I've missed anybody, Down East Outdoors. Terry was very quick to tell everybody, nope, I'm not. You are very, very lucky.
Oh, man.
Oh, and remember, Brian B. Catfishing.
Brian.
Oh, Brian B.
And just like Mr. Buck Williams says, we'd appreciate if you all would hit that thumbs up. Greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
It's free.
So, Joe Newman.
Just like subscribing if you're not a subscriber.
Yeah, if you're not a subscriber, you're watching, you just hit that subscribe button. It's free. Hit that thumbs up. Yep. That way.
And then you can get in chat and have a real good time. So
yeah, then you can get in chat. You can chat with us. Our chats are, subscribers only, because when you don't do that, they get out of hand with bots and
the bots
weirdo stuff. So
Bugman said he's cleaning up the ribs mess. Did you see that?
Yeah.
That sounds good.
That does sound good. I got to get the smoker back out and get it going again now that it's warmed back up. I like me some ribs on the smoker. But anyway, so boys, I was out this weekend. The Ohio River is around 42 degrees. So we were talking. We came up with the chat for tonight. And, is it too early to start targeting flatheads? I have been seeing a few here and there.
I've seen a few caught, and I tell you what, some of our lakes is couple of the groups on Facebook that I'm in for our local lakes. That's been the big question all weekend long, is what was water temperatures. And we've seen anything from about 40 to 41 all the way up to some people were saying like 51, 52. So there's a 10-degree stretch. And that all depends on where you're at in the lake.
Yeah.
You're the back of one of those northern bays. You're probably starting to warm up, and that 50, at least around here, that 50 is that magic number. If you're going to start targeting flatheads, I mean, you want to see that. You want to see that 50-degree water.
That was more of my magical number that I'm looking for. Is that
Jersey's saying the same thing? Said 50-degree water temp.
Yeah, looking for that 50. And we got 70s here for the high all week. But the most important, because that's gonna warm them shallow creeks and stuff like that up. Mm-hmm. But the main rivers, that's not going to really raise the temperature all that fast.
No, it takes a little bit for them.
Right, but what we got coming here on Saturday, which doesn't look like I'm going to be I'm not going to be fishing Saturday and Sunday. We've got about 60 to 70 degree rain coming in on Saturday and Sunday, and it's about 2 to 3 inches of rain is what they're calling for.
That's going to do a lot.
That will raise that water temp quick. Usually you get 1 or 2 of them nice rains like that. That just totally flips the script on what's going on out there.
And
you're not predicted to get that wind and stuff?
Say again?
You're not predicted to get that wind and stuff?
Yeah, that's why I won't be out there in it.
Yeah.
We're looking at, let's see, the last I looked, 25-mile-an-hour winds. So with it coming out right out of the south, and then you've got, God knows what the gust will be on that.
I predicted 45s.
I won't be out there in that.
Yeah, that's white capping all over.
Let me see here. I saw Stonefly said rain with more dirt in it. We had that Friday.
Yeah, my truck is covered.
We had that mud rain, and it was actually kind of a really neat thing. And I'm a science nerd anyway. I like that kind of stuff. But that dust and that dirt came from dust storms out west.
Yeah, like Texas, right?
That big low that came through with those high winds, it pushed all that up into the upper atmosphere, and then it, as it was raining, that started catching that and bringing it right down on the cars. And everything was just soaked. It looked like every vehicle out there had been muddy or been out muddy. And the car washes had lines stretched around the back. So,
well, I've seen some stuff posted online, and people were like, "It was pollen." And I'm like, Ain't
No.
like no pollen I ever seen before. And then I saw later on somebody a post, I guess from like a meteorologist type deal, where they were explaining what it was. I was like, really?
Really makes me nervous right now.
Stop it.
Oh, up, up, up.
Up, Lyle.
What?
Oh my God! Definitely don't go lower.
No. That's why I'm getting nervous. There's a
I want
history.
you guys to see the Cardinals shirt.
I've already got. I mean, I've already got to stare at Josh's big Johnson in the back there.
He's got a big old Johnson.
You definitely got Bill Johnson in there.
Oh man, really?
Is that the one you did the live on with us a while back? Where you was
actually, I think it might have been. Yeah, and that's the one that that outboard stand is the one that my son helped me build.
Oh, nice.
Video here not too long ago. So
still looking for first flathead. Hopefully this year.
They are the best that I've ever heard it put is by Jerry Parker, our birthday boy tonight. And he said going targeting flatheads is like deer hunting. You might sit for hours upon end for that one flathead. And I've never thought about it along those lines, but he's right.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so I usually, if I'm going to go out and target flatheads, I'll go find me a spot. I'll get my baits out where I know that they should be productive. And then I sit. I pull my tablet up. I'll open Amazon Video or whatever and binge watch something and just wait for a rod to go down. So.
Well, if you ever watch Mark, your brother Mark, live, he sits for hours and hours to catch one fish.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes he'll catch more than one, and sometimes he'll get into some channel cats also, but he'll sit there all night to catch one flathead. Mm-hmm. So
you're waiting on him to come through that area is what you're waiting on.
That's right. But yeah, 45 to 50 is where I feel like that you need to be at for flatheads, and they'll be lethargic and slow. They won't fight real hard. The closer you get to 50, and you won't catch very many of them when it's 45 degrees, but you might get into one every once in a while. But when it reaches 50 degrees, they start moving around a lot more and feeding. Yeah. I mean, in our areas now down south, they don't go dormant like they do here in further north, but they haven't ate all winter for the most part. Maybe a snack every once in a while, but for the most part, they haven't done much all winter. So they'll be better. You just got to wait and give it some time.
Now, is this, Lyle? Is this the time of year? And I've kind of heard this go both ways on it. If I'm targeting flatheads, it's live bait. Every rod out there is going to have something live on it. But this time of year, when they're coming out of that winter funk, cut bait.
In my opinion, if you want to catch flatheads on cut bait in our area, this is the time. Now, guys out east and in the warmer weather can catch them on that year round. And I'm not saying you won't catch some around here, but you won't catch any of the really big ones on cut bait in the summertime here. They want something's moving. They want bullheads or live bluegill or sunfish or something like that. So.
Oh. I was looking at Jersey's comment there. That's actually a really good idea. He said he does the same thing, but he reads a book, purposely uses his phone to record his outing. This makes me keep my nose out of my phone and disconnect for a few hours. That's not a bad idea.
That's actually a really good idea. Or, you get a fishing buddy like, hey, Josh, when are we going to go chase that new, PB flathead that you've been talking about for a couple years with me now? And you just sit there and enjoy the evening and with a friend. And
it's one thing if you got a buddy that go with you, man. That's an awesome trip.
Gosh, I'm only 5 hours away. Let's go.
I know. I just got to drop it
from me.
I'll DHL myself over to you. I'll be there in about 3 weeks.
Oh, here we go. You'll be there like overnight, speed of light right there, baby. But for years I've heard the magical number 55.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think that that's probably when they kick into a little bit better gear. But like you said, I think that 50-degree mark is the start of them really venturing around a little bit more, trying to get that feed on.
Yep.
Where they, like you said, they haven't really fed in months all that much,
that's
right? So, and at least in the mid to upper portions of the country. Now, like you said, down where Creole and them live, that water's a lot warmer. They probably, they have a longer growing season. They eat longer, that sort of thing. So
that's right. So, but it's not going to be the same everywhere you go. It's just not. But for us, and I know there's guys that never use anything but cut bait for flatheads, and you'll catch some, but you'll catch a lot more of them in my area.
Yeah.
On live bait once the water warms up.
Now, see, my experience with flatheads, because I've used to sit on the banks with live bait constantly. Same thing with cut bait. Me personally, around here, I have personally better luck with cut bait than I ever have with live. I've caught them all, but for the most part, especially bluegill head, is what used to be my number one bait when it came to flatheads.
Jersey just said the same thing in chat. Now, I run into trouble. The lake that I typically target flatheads on also has a very healthy population of channel cats. And if you put something cut out there, those channel cats are going to find it. Now you put a big half a bluegill on there, you're liable to find a 18, 20 pound channel cat. And I mean, that's not exactly a bad thing, but if it's not what you're looking for, it kind of tend to be a pain in the neck.
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. And that probably is where the live bait outshines, because, like you just said, getting beat to the bait by channel cats or even blue cats, it does probably in Lyle's area make it more difficult to use cut bait versus the live. But I've got plenty of blues, and especially blues, not necessarily channels, on live bait as well.
Yeah, this time of year, actually, as you go through it, if you're going to sit out even bank fishing, it might not be a bad idea to throw a piece of cut bait. You might get a flathead on it, you might get a channel, but you go get some action on there, one of the two.
Well, and action's what we're after.
Yeah. I'm not going to complain about. Let's see. Greg Burgess said the other night caught a channel cat, was full of eggs. Yeah, it's going to be that time for too long.
Well, and Greg, you're down there in Louisiana, if I'm not mistaken, correct? So yeah, they're going to start spawning well before what we get, or up north it's more Mayish before they even start seeing that. So
and I was sitting here thinking about this. I haven't caught a whole lot of flatheads. So that fish seems to elude me more than it probably should. But I honestly, I think that I've probably caught more of them on cut bait than I have live. My best one's been on live, by a long shot. My two that have been on cut bait, the ones on cut bait have all been 10 pounds or under.
My 34 and my 35 were both on cut bait. One was we were dragging baits down there at Lake Wiley, and the other one I was anchored up in a swing rod out in the middle of the channel that comes through there from the dam. It's just a long, narrow channel that comes through there, and it was in the middle of the channel there that I caught.
And then we had I caught one suspend drifting one time.
Really?
Like
I don't think I've ever caught one suspend drifting.
Like 2 days after the first time I was ever on Catfish Weekly as a guest, I caught one.
Really?
Uh,
Yeah, because Lyle had asked me about my PB flathead, and I said I didn't have one because the only flatheads I'd ever caught was when we were trot lining. And 2 days later, I caught one. So I credited Catfish Weekly for.
so do you guys go out and target flathead regularly?
I would not say regularly for me. I keep saying I'm going to, but then I end up setting up for, pretty much whatever.
Mhm.
Targeting, channel ledge and then up where I can reach a flat, or, and in the deep, and then catch them in here and there as they come through. But
The key to that is finding structure. If you can find structure, a lot of times you can find flatheads that are roaming around at night. But I'm a firm believer in you'll catch one once in a while fishing for catfish in general. But to be successful regularly, you really need to target them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, but it goes back to there's no substitute for time on the water.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
And that is one that my biggest problem was patience, and I would put my baits out whether they were live or cut or whatever else, set them out, and if they hadn't been touched in about half hour to maybe an hour, I got to bring them in. Maybe that bluegill died or whatever else. Getting to the point where you could just say, hey, that bait is going to do whatever it's going to do, and letting it sit is difficult. It is tough to do. But it has paid off. If I distract myself and just put the baits out where I've got a good feeling that they will end up in front of a fish, and then leave them alone. And every one of them, the baits have been soaking for 2 or 3 hours.
Right.
Chris Lee says most of the flatheads they catch are on suspended rods. And you know what he was fishing with this weekend, Lyle?
I'm sure it was chicken.
No, salmon.
Yeah.
Wow.
He was fishing with salmon.
Yeah, there's something. Well, first of all, there's something wrong with it. He don't like to eat salmon.
It ain't fit to eat.
Oh, it's great. It's great food.
It's good stuff.
It's garbage. It's about like trout. It's good.
Oh my God, no.
Again, ain't neither one of you know how to cook, so you don't know.
Pardon me?
Calm down there, hush puppy.
I can open up a can of SpaghettiOs with meatballs, and I am good to go.
Oh wow!
Lord have mercy.
Well,
but yeah, he had he took a couple pieces of salmon with him the river Sunday and caught a couple blue cats with him.
Well, good for him.
Jody says she must be putting the hook in her live bluegills wrong because they take it down and pull the bait off. Rarely ever hook up. And then Parker's asking how she's hooking them. So
I was gonna say, my question would be, what's your setup? Are you running them on a float, or are you running them on like a drop off the bottom? And then yes, it will. To me, it makes a difference. But also size, hook size. Like what kind of hooks are you using? Me when I fish for flatheads, I preferred actually a J hook and a rather large like a river sticker or something like that for those kind of setups, right? So, and then again, if you're running it below the float, I prefer it through the back dorsal, right behind the back dorsal fin, versus if you're letting the bait come up from the sinker. I don't know what he's doing.
Lyle's watching some YouTube video or something.
I'm trying to get it shut off.
There, I'll mute you because I don't want to hear your.
There ain't no telling what we're going to hear.
Midget, whatever you're. It's probably a James Dockery OnlyFans video, but if you're running like a Carolina type rig or a dropper loop, whatever, where your sinker's here and your leader line's coming up, then yeah, I'm more hooking it from back towards the back of the tail versus the dorsal fin, something like that personally.
They like to eat those fish head first anyway. So
They prefer to. They will take them from the back. But
think about it though. Pet a bluegill from head to tail, and you're fine. Pet a bluegill from tail to head.
Yep.
See how that works out for you.
that's exactly right.
And that's the same reason they don't want that in their mouth.
It's got to be rough going down.
If they can eat it head first, they're going to try. I mean, it's if they're hungry, they're going to eat it however they can get it. But
Her run says if you use live bait, I use saltwater live bait hooks, and they're circle hooks, and I love them. They will catch the littlest piece of skin inside mouth for hookup.
I'd like to take a look at those hooks. Saltwater live bait hooks. I'll check that out.
But yeah, I definitely when it comes to how you hook your live bait, from my understanding, it definitely a bigger, wider gap hook, like the river sticker type hooks, are better. I like the J hooks because you don't want to. I catch them all the time reeling down on flatheads, but I would rather set the hook on a flathead.
If you're using a J hook, I can recommend a Gamakatsu Big River hook. Is the best J hook I have ever used.
I need to order some more. I had a guy turn me on to the Mizuko sickle hooks, and had quite a bit of Mizuko, or Matzuk. It's some Japanese.
Okay, I don't know. I don't think I've seen them.
I had to find them again. I found them on eBay after he mentioned them.
Yeah, if you see them, let me send me a picture of them. I don't think I've ever seen them before. I'd like to see them. So Jody says she is spot locked, suspended with a 9/0 executioner hook. I'm not sure about what size the executioner. I think those are the Minotaur, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know. Again, we did a show a long time ago about that. There's no standard when it comes to the hook sizes. I can't remember exactly how big those are, what the gap is, but I definitely prefer wide gap hooks when I'm doing them.
Yeah, Bugman, them are Gamakatsu Big River hooks.
Yep.
They are, and I know Jerry talked about thin wire hooks. If I'm catching channel cat, that's fine. If I'm going after flathead or blues, I don't want no thin wire hook. Them things bend. I don't care what brand they are. They don't hold up to a fighting fish. So I'm going with something that's got some beef to it.
See, I used to use real heavy hooks when I was fishing live bluegills, and it kept killing them. And I went to a light wire hook, and my beta stay alive longer.
I haven't had that problem, but I'm not talking about.
You can kill a bluegill, but 5 minutes after it's in the live well.
That's Dockery's fault. You can say what you want.
I've seen Lyle look at a bluegill and it fall over dead.
All over. Chad, I just sent you a picture of those in our group chat there. If you can share it.
I will.
Now
these are not. I just found the first ones that I could find. These are like, I think 1/0. Obviously, they're too small for.
Well, maybe for the size fish that Lyle catches or something.
Yeah.
Oh, I like those.
But,
and I tell you what, the first time I ever fished with those, I was running live bait, running big old live shad, and underneath a bobber, and I saw that bobber take off, and I swung for the fences, and that thing buried into the mouth of a bowfin. And those are kind of hard to hook up on sometimes, and I was like, well, I'm sold on them because they're.
Yeah, that right there. Honestly, those are like the almost like the river sticker type hooks that I was talking about. Those would work great, I think.
They look good.
Yes,
and they snell up good too. Just the way that profile is, they've still got that octopus head on them. They'll snell up good.
Honestly, with that style hook, I wouldn't worry about not just use a Palomar knot for that one.
Yeah. I snell them. It's just personal preference, but
no, I agree. Honestly, in my opinion, if it ain't a straight shank, smell doesn't do you much good in my opinion.
Buck Williams says, has anyone tried threading a large bait fish like trout fishermen do with minnows? I have not. I have seen other guys do it, and the way they do it is they run that a needle or something with a line through their butt and out their mouth, and usually use a treble hook.
Yeah.
Those are for the ones that are trying to take the fish backward, but flatheads like to take them face first.
Yeah.
And
I've bridled them up in the
it.
front of the head before. And you get those little bitty zip ties, the smallest ones that Harbor Freight sells. And you make your little incision and put that zip tie through that bluegill and zip tie that shank of that hook on there. Just right on. He'll look like a unicorn, have a horn on the front of his head, but it'll be a hook point.
Yep.
Oh, Greg says it's going to be 82 to 84 by Friday and Saturday.
Man. We're supposed to get severe weather on Friday, so.
Yeah, it's going to be rough up here.
We're supposed to go out for Christina's birthday, which is Thursday. And
29?
Yeah, 29 and Holden.
I thought maybe that was close.
Yep. Weed Hopper said they thread smelt or herring for sturgeon up here in the Pacific Northwest. Gamakatsu big river hooks.
I wonder, because yesterday when we went out, I was throwing the cast net for bait, and we came up with some quailback and red horse suckers.
Quillback is a great bait, so's red horse sucker.
I wonder, because more than likely what I'd end up doing would be under a float with a hook in its back. But what y'all were just saying, I wonder how that, like a red horse sucker, doing the threading technique. I've never done that with most baits, but I wonder, because you really, with a live bait swimming around like that, I don't know, with a bottom fish like a red horse sucker or a carp or quailback, that it would be all that great of an idea.
There's channel member Tom from LG Bass. Hello, Tom.
LG Tomcat.
Welcome, buddy. Here's Randy Swain.
Stonefly says he caught a quailback about a year ago and threw them in a swimming pool and left them in the swimming pool for a year, and they were almost 13, 14 inches.
Oh, wow.
I don't know that I've ever seen a quailback. I've heard it, but I don't know if I've ever seen one.
They're funny looking little fish. They got scales on them, and
yeah, they're kind of like they're like I don't know how to explain them. Not a carp or a sucker, but almost like a large shiner. But the back fin that are real long and black.
Right.
Like they have like one long one, and then almost like them sail catfish.
Yeah,
like they're called. They're almost kind of look like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Yeah, because I can remember the first time I ever.
Bait.
Yeah, the first time I ever caught one in the cast net, I messaged Mark Blauvelt, and I'm like, "What is this?" Because I've never seen them before. He's like, "That's a quailback." He's like, "You need to be using that for bait," and I was like, "All right."
We've always just called them shiners. That's just.
No, yeah, they're quailback.
They might be in the
we look at it, we'll go, look at this big old shiner, and we have run into those and not known what they were.
Yep,
they're great.
I don't know if it's legal to use them, so I'm going to just like plead the fifth on when it was I used these. But I threw the cast net one time at some point in history and caught a bunch of mud puppies.
Oh,
and they will catch fish. Just saying. So
yeah.
La 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 la.
I don't know if you're supposed to use them or not. It's been a long time, but
you've learned the error of your ways. Okay.
Yeah. That was.
I don't know if they're legal or illegal.
Yeah, I'm 90% sure here they are not legal.
I'm not even saying what state I was in when I used them.
So.
But I will say they catch fish.
Well, quailback is a great bait. Well, the red horse sucker, any sucker, they're real oily, and they got a lot of scent to them, so they work great.
Well, let me ask you this. So at the beginning of flathead season, all right, when you're first starting, what baits are you using, and then do you switch to something else as the water warms up?
I use, if I can get them bullhead and bluegill or any type of legal panfish, and I use them year round or whenever I'm flatheading. Because a lot of times I'll be fishing by a dam or something, and I'll be fishing cut bait for blue cats in the current, and in the slack water I'll be fishing live bait for flatheads.
Me.
I like sunfish, bluegill, especially when it's colder out. It seems like to me that when that water gets a little bit warmer, they don't want to swim as much. You'll pitch them out there, they'll hide at the bottom and not do anything. And that's where a bullhead would come in handy. Or if you have them in your lake, yellow bass.
If they're legal in your state.
They're legal in your state.
Yeah.
But for me, they're not.
Here, they're a nuisance.
Yeah.
Here, it depends on what license you have.
Yeah.
Kentucky, you cannot. So obviously, I live in the tri-state area here, so I've got Kentucky on my side. I've got Ohio and Indiana, right? Kentucky state law says you cannot use any kind of sports fish such as largemouth, smallmouth, white bass. We're not allowed to use them. We're not allowed to use crappie, right? We're, boom, illegal.
Yeah.
When you go to the Ohio license, you're allowed to use white bass for bait. I don't know what their law is for largemouth and smallmouth. And
we can use those. We can use crappie. We can use it as long as we caught it using a legal fishing method.
Right, but
I like that rule.
If we have Indiana, you're allowed as long as you cut it on the correct means, right? Rod and reel.
Right.
You're allowed to use crappie as bait.
Mm-hmm.
From what I understand, anything as bait.
Yeah. Now, what we run into is like crappie are fine. There's nothing in the law that prohibits crappie. But if you were on a body of water that has a limit on the crappie, especially a length limit, you can't cut that fish. Once it's cut, you have no way of proving how long that fish was.
Yep.
And so you have to keep that fish whole, which, hey, use it live. There's no question on it like that. But
crappie's easier to keep alive than shad is.
Well, not for you.
Yeah.
But do you guys also have you used live shad for flathead?
I've used live shad in the hopes of catching a flathead, but from the moment a shad is born, it's looking for a way to die. So
that's a fact. That is a fact.
There you go.
I wish I could take credit for that quote, but that's actually I'm quoting Chris Souders on that one. So
yeah, Dave Funk says in Ohio, if you can fry it, you can fly it.
There we go.
I did not know that.
I didn't either, but that's good to know.
Yeah.
Parker says green shad are great bait.
I'm thinking he's talking about green carp.
Yeah.
I have no idea what he's talking about.
He's talking about Lyle's favorite fish to catch.
Okay.
James Dockery has become the new bass master.
So it's going. What he's saying is it's going to be him and Dockery on that.
No, I'm saying he is the Bass Master Deluxe, and you should have a picture to prove that.
I do have a picture to prove that. I have one picture of Dockery catching bass, and I've got a bunch of pictures of Lyle catching bass, but that's none of my business. So
that's right. Yeah. Okay.
Speaking of the bullheads there, I just found I'm about 15-20 minutes away from a lake that supposedly has them, so I will be trying those this year.
So you're going to catch some and send them to me, right?
No, you wouldn't. They'd make it all the way to your house alive. You'd open the box and they'd die.
You'd look upon them and they'd be done.
That's not true.
Yeah, I'm gonna get. I started going through the stuff this weekend. With it being nice out, we were outside all weekend long, and it's not going to be much longer. Probably about another week or so, and the bait tank's going to be getting filled back up and ready to go. So Going to have to go get me I tell you what, the bullheads I put in there last year, you couldn't do nothing to them. Couldn't you fillet the crappie to keep the length for these?
If it's from what
Yeah.
I saw, most states where you can use it for bait legally, when there's a creel size limit, like say they have a 9-inch limit, the carcass has to be intact, not
Yeah.
it can be manipulated as far as cutting the fillets off of it, but the rest
I
of the
think
carcass has to be intact.
ultimately, I think that's going to come down to which conservation officer you get and what mood he is in that day.
Yeah, if you cut,
the way I see that, yeah, I could look at that and say, hey, if you filleted this fish, it doesn't change the length of the fish at all.
Right. But if he comes up and he makes you reel in to check you, and you have just a head cut off, and you're fishing with it, and that's against the law, but you're going to not have a good night.
Yeah, don't. If it's legal, it's legal. If it's not legal, don't do it. But if it's legal, make sure you're doing it right. Make sure you're able to articulate it. We had some issues, not me personally, but a buddy of mine up at Wren Lake just last summer. He was bank fishing, had him 3 rods out. Well, Wren Lake is a 2-pole and line thing, but if you're allowed up to 50 hooks, and if you have a 3rd rod, it's fine as long as it is labeled, because it becomes an unattended fishing device. They come up, they're getting ready to write him a ticket for doing that. He has the thing printed out, shows it to them, and they, lo and behold, oh, yeah, you're right. Have a good day. But had he not had that, he probably would have been having to fight that ticket.
A lot of that depends on your officer, and for the most part, them guys are just doing their job. Some of them's having a bad day, or they run into an asshole before they got to you, and you happen to be the goat. But most of the time, the ones that we've run into around here are very nice. A lot of them now are younger variety.
Yeah.
Very quiet and polite. I've had no trouble. But here's the thing: if you're not doing anything wrong, and you're playing by the rules like you're supposed to be, you're not going to have any problem. You're just not.
And
if you're a personable individual, if you treat this, the guy's got a job to do. Whether he's bothering you or not, he's got a job to do.
Yep.
That's right.
You'd throw a fit if he wasn't doing anything. You throw a fit when Joe Blow is out here stealing fish and taking them to a pay lake.
Yep.
If he's checking you, the man's out doing his job. Treat him with a little bit of respect.
Yep.
Go about your business. It goes a long way.
Yeah.
And treat with respect. You'll get 90% of the time, get it back. Yeah.
That's right. I agree.
Put the guy at ease, because when he's walking up on you, he doesn't know if you've got a gun tucked back or shoot him or anything else.
Well,
there's a percentage of them have had that already.
I can promise you that there's a whole lot of stuff goes through his head when he walks up on you.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
I can promise you that.
How many people does that guy have to go down and, like you said, or go to their house even when there's been complaints about illegal harvesting or illegal deer hunting or whatever, and they're not just worried about you. You may have a gun that they can't see, but you also have knives where you're sitting there filleting fish and cutting fish up and blah blah blah, right? So they're on their defense. So
yeah.
Do you guys know that game wardens or conservation agents, whatever they call them in your state, have more power than a state highway patrol? They do not have to have search warrants and stuff. They have the legal right just to come in your house regardless, because they think you're doing something wrong. They can go in and check your freezers and all that stuff, and they don't have to have search warrants. Not in Missouri, anyways.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like you said, have common sense. You don't have to get defensive like social media has told us all of a sudden that we have to every given case out there, and be courteous. It'll go a long way.
What was the first rule, or one of the rules in Roadhouse? Be nice.
Yeah.
Be nice. Just be nice. So it's not to be nice.
Yeah. I can only imagine being a game warden and walking up on what's his name in that movie.
Huh?
Roadhouse.
Oh, Roadhouse.
Yeah, being a game warden and walking up on Sam Elliott.
I tell you what, I'd probably go to jail if somebody like Lyle was a game warden and came up on me, because I'd probably throw my cast net on him and try to tell him I thought it was a leprechaun that was coming to attack me.
Truest statement in chat of the night, right there.
Yeah.
100% true.
Yeah, there's a gun involved in every situation you're in.
That's right. I agree.
There's at least one.
And for those people that to think the rules don't apply to them and this and that, you're going to lose that battle. You're bigger and badder. You're going to lose that battle.
Mm-hmm.
And more than likely, I would say at least 50% of the time, if not more, that game warden knows before they approach you how to approach you, and if you're already doing wrong. They've probably been sitting there watching you.
I was going to say, I've never had one come up on me to check me that they haven't. Hey, I've been sitting over here for a while, blah blah blah. And they're open about that. And I'm like, well, cool.
Yeah, they don't hide it.
Yeah.
Hey, cool. And I was out trying to catch bait one time, and was out underneath one of the bridges. I was out there. I think it was either Thanksgiving or the day after, and was out there trying to catch bait, and in come some of the crappie fishermen, and I guess they decided that they didn't like me throwing a net, even though I'd been there forever, and they ended up making a call and getting him out there, and he come over and he did a safety check, and he actually forgot a couple of things, and I was like, hey, just to cover, hey, I know you didn't ask, but here's this, that way everything was above board.
Yep.
And he got done with me, and the guys that called on me, he went over and just said, well, since I'm in the area, I'll go ahead and check you guys too. And right off the bat, they didn't have enough life jackets for everybody in the boat. So
that's a bad deal, right
they
there.
had a rough day. Had they not called, it'd probably been all right.
Yep.
But man, karma.
Yep.
What goes around comes around.
Yes, sir.
That tends to happen.
I'm a firm believer in that. But it is what it is. Jody's making a statement in here about Jamie. She can't use scraps from crappie. I'll tell you what's a bigger shame than that. Our area is a huge spoonbill fishing area, which I have zero use for them either. But
those are good eating.
I have heard from thousands of people probably how good a catfish bait the insides of spoonbill are when they clean them fish for catfish. I've never used them because it's illegal, but people tell me if you don't get caught, you can have your way with blue cats on them.
See, I don't agree with the as long as you don't get caught statement.
Yeah, no, that's just.
I'm just saying I don't do it.
No. I'm not saying you all do, or any different than that. I'm just saying that's not the right mentality to use.
No, it's not. But the guys that are using them anyhow, they don't care.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, but again, the karma thing, right? And just like what Josh was saying, you do wrong, and it's going to eventually catch up with you. I hope more than likely.
It does. That's right.
Yeah.
Just make sure you try at least follow the law the best that you know.
Do it the right way. Then you can have fun. You don't have to worry about anything. If such game warden wanders up on you, you can talk about the fish are biting or they're not biting or whatever else.
Yep.
You're not having to try to hide nothing. You're not being squirrely.
Yeah, we go down to the dam, catch skipjack, here in our pool and stuff, and I don't know how many conversations I've had with him. Most time he'll just walk up and he'll be like, and then I'll see him, checking people, and I'll have it ready. I'm like, here's mine, and he'll said, his
I know you. You don't catch no fish. You're
yeah,
fine.
Oh my
but
God.
well, he'll be like, he'll sit and have a conversation with you. How's it going? You having any luck? No,
Yep.
not really. Or I've got about a dozen in here, and you open the cooler up.
Yep.
Okay, cool. And then he just goes on down the line. Just politeness has been lost. Just being a good, decent, person to people, and just having, especially people like that. They already have, like you said, such a high stress level job. Why not just
Oh yeah, just
not add to their stress?
cool,
got-
cool the atmosphere down just a little bit.
Yeah.
100%.
You go a long way.
Yeah, they've got 50 to 100 people down there at the dams trying to,
And
go
we
one
don't.
by one. And
I don't know about where you're at, but we don't have a whole lot of them anymore.
They got rid of a lot of them, and a few years ago,
All the county.
well, a few years ago, the Illinois DNR or whatever they call it over there, they cut their amount of people in half, and that's when I started complaining about the commercial guys, because they put them on a write in if you want to type deal, and them guys are. They have to maintain the same standards everybody else does.
I like this one. Danny Stone says, I can't do anything illegal. My game warden is a subscriber.
Yeah, that'll tend to affect things there.
Maybe that's the reason Dockery don't make any videos and go live anymore.
Dockery don't do nothing illegal. Come on, let's not.
No, he doesn't. I mean, but the game warden probably was a subscriber.
Probably.
Mike Irwin, welcome, buddy.
This time change has got me messed up.
Isn't it great? This is the greatest thing when they change the time.
Like 7 o'clock tonight, and it was still light out. So
Missouri's talking about leaving at this time year round. I wish the hell they would. Look at this. Greg Burgess says, "Wow, for Louisiana, I, at the age my fishing license, hunting license, $550 a year." So in my state, when I turn 65, my hunting and fishing license are $0. That's just me.
What year did they start with making people buy a fishing license?
I want to say it was in the 1960s in Missouri, but I could be wrong about that.
So you've never had to buy one, huh?
Stop it.
Oh, okay. You didn't see that one coming?
That was good. I knew where that was going.
Wow. What a hoser.
Any hoot.
Yeah, I bought a 3-year last year. Illinois finally started offering that.
So did Kentucky.
I think that's a great option.
I need to renew my Kentucky one though. I haven't done so yet. But
the only thing I would say with that, because when I was like, oh, I think me and my buddy Bill, usually they're Big Bill's Veteran Catfishing, we was like, oh, license expire, because we were getting ready to go fishing the next day on March 1st. I was like, oh man, I need to get on there and look, and I was like, wait a minute, I think I might be good, and I went on, and you got to remember, if you buy a 3-year license, you still got to check it every year, because as soon as you don't,
that'll be the year that you. Yeah,
that'll be the year it expired, and because I know, because I made the post that day, and I was said, hey, Kentucky people, fishing license expired yesterday. Make sure you're updating them today. And people were saying, mine's good until 28. Well, mine's only good until 2027.
Mm-hmm.
So got to make sure that
or the same price, or do you get a discount for getting 3 years?
I think it was a little discount. I can't remember.
Illinois is the same price, but you're only paying the convenience fee one time. So you are saving a little bit as opposed to buying it each year and paying that $3 convenience fee for buying it online.
There are lifetime license you can buy, and if you buy them at a young age, they're very.
The time for me to buy those, well, it would
they don't
be beneficial would have been a long time ago. So
But I did buy this one this year.
Oh, that's cool looking.
Yeah, you
Look
got
at
a
that.
nice little plastic. I got a nice actual card for my Tennessee license,
Huh.
and I've only been there once. So
Is there a reason for that,
that I've only been there once.
or you just can't catch fish there?
Oh, I can catch fish. I don't think I've ever been to Tennessee and not caught fish. So
Really?
yeah, there's an
Can you
abundance.
verify that with somebody?
Well, I can have you talk to Bill or Dee. They've been the two that went with me, and they can verify it for me. I've only been to the Tennessee River part twice. I've been to Chattanooga, and then I've been to Watts Bar, and both times we've caught fish. So
You can't hardly miss a Watts Bar from what they tell me.
well, I tell you what, the day that me and Bill went down to Watts Bar, they were fishing a tournament on one of the online tournaments, and everybody on the Tennessee River struggled to catch fish that day, and Bill and I beat them all. So,
Nice.
And
But-
then in the tournament.
but we weren't in the tournament. And then
Yeah.
when we went to when we went to Chattanooga, I was supposed to be in it, but I gave the spot to two of my best friends in the whole wide world, and we just fun fished that day, and we would have beat them that day too. We would have won the King of the Tennessee.
I don't remember getting that. Do you, Lyle?
I do not. I never got it. I
Yeah.
still haven't got it, to be quite honest.
What didn't you get?
What was you talking about?
You said you give it to your two best friends in the whole world. I don't remember seeing it.
Not you fools. I didn't say my two ugliest friends.
Well, it's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black, ain't it?
I never said otherwise. I'm just saying. But no, there are some good fisheries down there, but
There is. There
Yep.
is.
I'm about 3 to 5 hours, depending on where I go down there. Plan on making some more runs down there. Just I got to find time and money to do it. So if anybody wants to sponsor the Fields to Water YouTube channel travel fuel fund, let me know.
That's funny right there,
That's
922.
awesome.
Is someone
And sometimes it wasn't me, is what he says. So
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah.
I really do.
water lice.
What's that?
Said jet skis, they're water lice, lake lice.
I've never heard them called that before, but I like it.
I've called them a lot of things on the water before.
I have too. But I do know people that really, really enjoy them, and
Oh, I'd love to have one. Don't
are
get me
not
wrong.
out of line with the new ones, Josh. The new ones are big enough you could put rod holders on. So
The new you got new ones out there that are like 300 horsepower plus.
yeah,
That's the one that I would want to have.
well, yeah, you know, I mean, whatever the fastest one is, I want to have that one, and then have somebody work it over.
Work it over and make it even faster. Yeah.
That's right. You know, that's 100% correct. And I want that big one that you can put rod holders on.
There you go.
I don't see any reason to have any kind of boat. I don't care what it is. If you can't fish out of it, it's useless.
You need a red one,
A what?
bright red one.
No.
And we could decal that thing up, make it look like a sleigh.
Will you stop? Holy crap, dude.
Bob and Doreen Family Fishing says Oklahoma at 65 you can get a lifetime hunting and fishing license for $60.
That's still a good deal, man.
That's a heck of a
922's got it right. Mosquitoes, water lice, but mostly, yeah.
Oh man.
Yep.
That's a fact. We had a young man and his dad come in one time when we was tied up. Cindy and I did tied up to the dock, and I went up to back the truck in, and this kid just kept jumping it up in the water right beside the dock, and he's banging my boat up against the dock, and she was sitting there holding it with a rope. And I asked her twice, "Do I need to come down there?" And instead of asking the third time, I just started down there, and the kid's dad told him to get back away from the dock. Because if I'd have got a hold of him, his dad wouldn't have stopped me from bending him over my knee and whipping his little ass. And if the dad had come up there, I'd have probably done the same thing to him, because they was just beating the hell out of our boat, beating it up against that dock. And he was just being a little dick. And if there's a dick in the crowd, I want to be it.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Well, on that note,
Cindy says she took care of it, Lyle.
She did. She did, but I just don't go for that stuff. I wouldn't have done that to them if they was trying to get their boat or sea-doos loaded up. But yeah, she chewed his ass out pretty good. But
I wouldn't want Mama Cindy yelling at me.
it was a lot nicer for her to do it than it was going to be when I got down that and have to walk back up that ramp second time. You know what I mean?
there's only two things that I want that woman yelling at me for. One, the cinnamon rolls are ready, and two, the cinnamon roll recipe. I'm just saying.
Yep, there we go.
I'm not sure you'll get that. I'm not
That's
sure
sad.
you'll get that.
That's sad.
Oh, shoot.
You might.
Lisa says, Lyle, tell us how you really feel.
Well, I
Right?
don't mind.
Hey, you shouldn't hold back there, Lyle.
No, they mess with me like that. I get a little upset, and I don't mind sharing
Parker
the
said he
information.
thinks you should have. You should get your jet ski should have wood paneling finish so it looked like your first boat, Lyle.
23.
No,
So Lyle, in Kentucky, for a resident, an annual fishing license is $23.
okay,
For a 3-year, it's $55.
they're a lot better do it.
You are saving some money on that.
Yeah, so we're
better
definitely
deal.
raising some money on that.
Yep, Danny, they
Saving.
expire the end of the month. Because that's what my mom will get me for my birthday every year, because my birthday's on the 30th of March.
I used to get fishing license for Christmas every year. Now I don't have to buy it.
Yeah, you haven't had to buy one since
2 years, smart ass.
never mind. Let's see. Yeah, I'm looking again too. They right now that's all they offer us is either you do either the annual, the 1 day, or a 3-year fishing. Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Oh,
Nothing, no coffee and straight Mountain Dew. Straight Diet Dew.
so this is I've never seen this before. So at 65, residents 65 years of age or older can buy a senior lifetime sportsman. So that is our whole sportsman package for $180.
Oh, wow.
That's
Lifetime?
actually really cheap because
Yeah.
our annual sportsman's license, which gives me our hunting and fishing, our statewide deer permit, our spring and fall turkey, migratory bird and fowl, and our trout permits is $95 a year for a sportsman's license. So to get the senior sportsman, if you do it by year, is $12, but you can buy the sportsman's lifetime for seniors, and that's $180, and that covers everything for the rest of your life.
That's very cheap.
Yeah,
Very cheap.
That'd be worth it.
That would
Oh.
definitely be worth it. But you have to maintain Kentucky residency. It's not available for people outside of the Kentucky state limit. So if you bought it and you decided, hey, I'm going to move to Tennessee, it's no longer valid.
I wish I'd bought the Illinois lifetime resident fishing license back when I turned 16.
Absolutely. You saved a ton of money.
Well, yeah, it was $300 then.
Oh my God, yes.
It's what, like 8 now?
It's probably $750.
I think the last time I looked for Missouri, it was like $800.
Yeah, I wish I'd bought that. Anyone else afraid they would die the next year if you buy like that? Would be what would happen. Yeah, that's.
But you don't know. You have no control over that, and that money would still be good for the same use that it's going to be used for if you live to be 100.
unless you live in Illinois, because they lost a ton of ours. They can't find it.
Well,
Like
that's what happens when you keep electing them Democrats, man.
$160 million. They can't find it in the audit. So
160 million.
yes,
Better get Doge down there.
Yeah, that's what I said.
Oh man, I just think that it's money well spent because we have a great, awesome conservation department. We really do, and they put a lot of the money to good use. I don't agree with everything they do, like the money they wasted on that place for them sturgeon to breed. Screw them sturgeon. They didn't need it for a million years. They don't need it now. They done just fine the Mississippi and Missouri rivers. And they do other things that I don't approve of, but they do a lot of stuff that I think is amazing, like the slot limit and stuff on the lakes. That's just wonderful. That's going to get us bigger fish. Now, will we ever get to the point where we're like they are down in Alabama places? Absolutely not, because our growing season is too short compared to the warm water they have down there year round. But it's going to make more quality fish, and they get probably 2 years of extra growing before they can be harvested, and then you can only harvest 2 a day. So, yeah. Welcome, Kevin. Glad to see you in here tonight.
Hey, Kevin.
I see that Bugman said, at Heather Stokes, I bleed Mountain Dew. And she said, so does my dad.
I do. When I was a kid, we used to drink Sundrop. And since I have to drink Diet now, the Diet Mountain Dew tastes so much better. Diet Sundrop is just absolutely nasty. The Diet Dew it is. And it mixes good with everything. Although I haven't had anything for a long time. But
say I've had maybe 1 or 2 Mountain Dews since the start of the year.
Yep.
But I can see it in you too.
I've lost a couple pounds.
Yeah, you look it.
Okay. Mark says Illinois lifetime's 435. I thought it was higher than that, but
that's not terrible.
That's not horrible. No,
that's not horrible.
Not at all.
Norman Neighbor says Indiana here, senior for lifetime fishing, either $17 or lifetime $3 a year after retirement. $3. That's still a bargain. $3 a year after retirement.
Mm-hmm.
That's not a bad deal.
No, that's not bad at all.
You guys got me checking all the.
Hey, there's Alana.
You know, since we were talking about this, I made a video. God, it's probably been almost 2 years now ago. This is a good time. Everybody has these right here that you're constantly with you while you're fishing. There are an abundance of state DNR apps. MO Fishing, Fishboat Kentucky, Outdoors Alabama. I got Hunt Fish Ohio, Outdoors Georgia, Go Outdoors Virginia, TWRA on the go, et cetera, right? What did I say?
Nothing.
Nothing. It has nothing to do with you, buddy.
Okay. But this is something that I really think people should go and make sure you have for your state if they have one, because like the Fishboat Kentucky app, you can bring up you instead of going to Walmart and getting one of them free books, you've got it at your hand at all times. If you want to check the regulations on a body of water or your state, or if you think you got a state record and you want to check it real quick, right? I think it's all smart stuff to have, and you have it in the palm of your hand now.
Here's one of the cool things that I like about that. The Missouri Department of Conservation has a thing called Master Angler Award, and the fish either have to be a certain length or a certain weight. Mm-hmm. Because let's face it, some of them are thicker this way and not as long, and others are longer and not as thick. So they give you the option of what weight is versus length to make the Master Angler Award work for you. And you can go to the app on the Conservation Department thing and pull that up, and it lists every fish that's in the state of Missouri, basically. And there is there's a length or weight for all of them. So if you catch them, you can get your Master Angler's Award. And all you do is take a picture. have to send a picture in it, but they do prefer that you do, and to send your information in to the Missouri Department of Conservation, and they'll send you a little certificate, which is cool. Thank you, Alana. I am.
Hi, Honolulu, by the way.
Before
And
we get,
Dina's kayak crew.
hey, Nina, before
So
we
Matt,
get too
yeah,
far along, yeah, I've seen Matt
watching
go.
on the TV. So
Before we get too far along, we do not have a
we don't have a board tonight.
board tonight, but we do have
we have pictures. So I usually try to post the board on like Wednesdays. I usually schedule it about 15 minutes before Panfish Nation starts.
Mhm.
And so that's the game plan for this week. So
okay. Just so everybody knows, you should be paying attention. You get to see who the real bass master is. Because if you that's what phones are really good for. I've seen a guy try to shake a bass off of his fishing rod so that he couldn't get his picture taken. I mean, he was jiggling, beating it around, doing anything he could to get that off
the
of.
dock roof.
He did hit the dock roof.
You see that there, Josh? Is that what you were talking about?
Oh yeah, old mud puppy. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's a hellbender.
I thought you were talking the same thing. Mud puppies are hellbenders.
They might be. I don't know.
I'm pretty certain that's just another name for them.
Mud puppy.
Could be wrong. Could be wrong. But yeah.
Puppy is salamander. Hold on a second here. Mud puppy versus hellbender.
Oh, I got a nasty message.
They're different, according to Google. They are both aquatic salamanders that are often confused with one another, yet they have some key differences in their appearance. Habitat, and life cycle. So,
how dare you send me a message like that, James Dockery?
I thought they were the same thing.
What? No. I didn't think so.
Hellbender is not a mud puppy.
I didn't think so, but I wasn't sure enough to get in that argument. So
yeah.
Well, again, I never claimed to be an expert on anything.
Yeah.
I told you all before, I'm only here for comedic relief and good looks.
3 nights said Bobcat got a 50 plus and a 40 plus this evening.
Good for him.
I had to go back and
nice.
Look at that.
I did get a report from a friend of mine, Dennis Lawrenson, that he's been catching some catfish on the lakes around here. So
they were on fire the other night. I went fishing with Jerry Parker and stayed out there till I think I got home about 2 a.m. And we had a good old time. We had caught a bunch of fish and talked a lot of smack and all that. There's Parker.
Really? A lot of smack?
Okay.
Hellbender needs very clear, pristine water to survive Ozark streams.
Oh yeah, they definitely look way different. Oh, what the hell?
Oh wow, this
Connect with the world.
Mud puppy.
So a hellbender is Lyle when you make him cranky, just looks mean and evil, and then a mud puppy is when he puts on his.
When he catches a bass.
Yeah, when he catches a bass and poses, in a
he's all nice and happy and
like a turtleneck scarf thing that he wears or something
Not
for
true.
His pictures that he's trying to get on Bassmasters Weekly or something.
Oh, we need to put him on the cover of Bassmaster. That needs to get done.
Yeah, that'll never happen.
Oh, it can happen.
Photoshop make anything happen.
I was gonna say, I think you don't have enough respect.
I might have underestimated you guys a little bit.
Yeah, you've definitely underestimated our photoshopping skills.
Yeah, we can make that one happen.
No, we don't need that. We don't need that. I do have. I sent you a perfect picture for that. I really did.
It's something to show my daughter. Looks like something from a show my daughter watches, Stranger Things. I've never seen that show.
I haven't
Wow.
I've heard about it.
I like Stranger Things.
You would.
It's a good show. Of course I do.
I know your daughter likes those things like that because you took her all the way to Iowa to look at a haunted house or something.
Yeah, my daughter can be a little creepy at times.
Didn't say that. That's not what I said.
But the thing to do, you missed a total dad moment there. Your daughter wanted to go halfway across the country, see a haunted house. All you had to do was ask her what's wrong with the one you live in. That's all it takes.
Oh my God.
That's all it takes.
That would
Did
have
it
been
to
perfect.
Caitlin once. What's wrong with the one you live in?
Ernie Brown, thanks for joining us tonight, buddy.
What's going on, Mr. Ernie Brown?
I'm guessing Ernie just woke up from his nap.
Nothing wrong with that.
No. Didn't say anything was wrong with it. Mighty handy sometimes.
Yeah. Let's get Parker up there before we do. You never know what he's going to put. He already put some funny stuff in there.
Man.
Well, good show tonight, boys.
It was a great show. A lot of good information.
And next Monday, we're going to have a blast. We got Danny Stone next Monday.
Looking forward to that.
Yep. Has anybody heard the weather forecast for that?
Let me look it up.
I'm sure my weather forecast is not going to matter to Danny Stone.
I tell you what, I'm even going to do real quick. I got Weather Bug on my phone. I'm going to put in New Madrid, Missouri, and not put alerts because I don't want alerts for New Madrid.
Oh, no.
Monday, 63 and 49 for a low. South winds. That's pretty good.
Hey, it's better than 30. So
absolutely. I'm hoping he has a great night.
Hey, buddy, I have to double check.
Old G said the bite's turning on there too. He caught 8 last night, only quit because ran out of bait. That's a good night when you fish until you run out of bait.
Boy, no kidding. That rarely happens to me. Unless I didn't have any to start with, hardly.
Yeah, true.
Which I think we've all been there, right?
Yep. Definitely had it many times go out thinking, oh, the bait's going to be so easy to find. And then you spend half your day trying to catch bait. And you get just a couple morsels to throw 1 or 2 rods out.
I've been out one day and caught enough bait to last a week. You had to dump them out of the net and go out the next day and you couldn't buy one.
Yeah.
Could not buy one. Yeah. 79 tomorrow, Matt says. Almost Speedo weather. Well, that's your deal, man. I don't know nothing about that.
I tell you what, I got to ask you guys a question. That's something that happened this weekend.
Okay.
And I don't know if you guys have ever had this. So me and Bill went out Saturday. We fished. We were up on Hooks and Hammocks Live all day. Knew we were going to end up going out Sunday again. And we struggled to find bait in the morning, right? We found a little bait. They just weren't up in the creek like they had been. So they moved somewhere. After the live stream, we went back and we went further back into creek and was looking and we came across some schools, threw on them, pulled up, some of the small ones, moved over a little bit. Bill took over throwing the cast net for me, brings up some shad in this net, pulls it on the deck, and I'm like, oh my God. I thought it was the mud that stunk. Have you ever cut a fish open as you're filleting it and then like the shad where they have eaten shad or minnows and stuff are decaying in their bellies and they're nasty looking?
From a shad kill.
That's what these, I have never, ever thrown cast net. I've been throwing cast net forever and have never brought them up looking and smelling like that.
Yeah, that's because they're eating them old dead shad.
Oh my God. I was wondering I was like, are they eating like Lyle and eating so much they're puking back up their food?
I don't do that. Mine comes out a different area and I like to share it with everyone.
I've never seen that though. It was gross. Gross. Pulling up. That's going to be Matt's birthday present to you. He's going to send you some photos here in a minute, Parker.
That's going to happen.
But yeah, it was pretty darn gross.
What's on the bait shop this week, Chadwick?
We actually are talking. We've been chatting right before this show, and I see they were messaging. We may have a guest on Thursday night that we will get the. I don't know how I want to say it. I want to build it up a little bit, but we're gonna say it'd be an interesting, not. It could be a drama, another drama episode. So
Really? I
we'll
find
see.
that hard to believe.
Well, yeah, this might be a conversation that maybe not everybody agrees with.
Really?
It might be a point of view from our guest that people may not find, on their side of the thought process here,
Well,
but that's
what you're saying
okay.
is you really need to watch Thursday.
You may need to watch this if this is what we get lined up.
Sounds like it'd be fun.
Because I already know that there's been some conversations on Facebook about it here in the last couple of days. So we'll see. We'll see how that turns out if we can line that up. We may even get a rebuttal guest lined up to come in and just kind of do like a Jerry Springer, let them go, and then we'll come in at the end and
Holy crap!
pull like
I
Steve
can only
Wilco used
guess
to pull
what
them
that'll
apart.
be. I
See
can
how it
only
happens.
guess.
So
I don't know who you got, doesn't really make any difference. But if you want to try that the second time, I've got some recommendations for you.
I've thought about it many times, having a Jerry Springer session on our shows. As much as I see people fighting and bickering over some of the silliest stuff at times, just let them come on to my show
let
on the
'em
bait
rip.
shop and let them rip. Be like, this is your 15 minutes. That's all
Ted,
you get.
you need like a 5-minute segment at the end of the show, and it could be what really grinds my gears, and you could just go off.
There you go. That's right.
You never know with me, because sometimes I just started my shows off that way, and then I get whole YouTube videos made about me. So cool.
Really?
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's funny when that happens.
Yeah, that's okay.
Well, you got your Big Johnson out there. What are you going to do with it?
It's
Oh,
going
he's
back
talking about
on the
you.
boat.
He can't see
Yeah.
mine.
It's going back on the John boat. They got the starter repaired on it, so it's ready
With
to
the big
go.
old Johnson.
It's not the biggest Johnson I ever seen, but it
It's quite adequate.
it would do the job. That's for sure.
Wow.
On that note, thanks everybody for watching.
Yeah, I think that's probably about our cue to end that one. So.
Before this turns into the bait shop, we're gonna say see you later. We got. I guess you guys got a show on Wednesday night, Lyle.
We do. Mark and I'll be going at it on Wednesday night. We won't be talking about Johnson, big old Johnson, but we'll have something cool to talk about.
Wow, this has just gone off the rail.
On that note, good night, everybody.
Hit that end button. Yeah,
We'll see you somewhere.